Alok Singh of BOI AXA is also with me. He's the CIO there in the newsroom. Alok, good afternoon. Thanks a lot for dropping by. This is a very landmark stuff which has happened.
Yes.
As a fund manager, practitioner of money manager, what kind of impact are you analyzing this will have on lenders, which is a big clutch of lenders, many of the names which you may be having in your portfolio.
Yes.
But overall for corporate India, which gets revalued because now we have a good insolvency board implementing stuff.
Yeah, I think so. The biggest takeaway from this is that the process is validated by the Supreme Court, and hence, as a lender, as a professional, I can visualize what is that I can achieve out of this entire process. So, if you look at last 1 year, there has been hardly any ERC, ARC kind of a transaction which has happened, because as a high yield guy, I was not aware what is that I'm getting into, right? So as a bank, I get a clear path. As a resolution professional, I get a clear path. As an investor, I get, okay, what is achievable, what is not achievable. So I think it's a very, very good thing that it has come in such clear wordings as we can think of, and I think it will have long-term implications on the entire financial sectors. That's what I believe on this.
Alok, till yesterday the financial sector was also getting worried because the telecom companies were in issue, were facing AGR related issue, and the stocks were sharply down. They also have a massive amount of exposure to the financial space. How are you witnessing that side of the picture, because that was making market also a bit nervous?
Yeah, so if you look at, currently we just have 4 players, right? 2 of them are in a very bad shape and 2 others are relatively better. And telecom has become a very important part of our life, not only from the entertainment point of view, and the communication, but if you look at from the security point of view, our entire banking network, the OTPs and everything is residing there, right? So we can't live with it. So it being the sector of so much importance, I don't think we are seeing a shakeouts over there anymore. However, I think the recent court order will be forced to be honored, because it's not the incumbent who went to the court, right? That's what my belief. It's not the government which, and if the government disagree or rather dilutes it, then it leads an open, it opens a window for anybody to go challenge it. If the court order is not favorable, then sorry, I have a problem.
Right.
However, to sustain it, I think there are a lot other things which are like the spectrum fees and all that. I think that can be done. And also, like recently there was a news, and there was some floating for some time, that the government is working on some minimum tariff kind of a thing. So if you look at right now, ARPU are around 110 or something, right? If they just move to 150, 160, all of these becomes a healthy balance sheet. Because if you look at some of the stock, they are closing. All of them are like in excess of $1 billion of EBITDA, right?
Sure. Alok, how did you analyze the quality of earnings this quarter? If surely we saw a lot of companies get benefited because of the tax cuts coming in. If you adjust for the tax cuts, still do you see the numbers overall in aggregate slightly better than the street was fearing, or it was, how do you analyze the numbers?
So first of all, let me say that, there is a lot of things which people say, this adjusted for the tax, right? But I don't say it that mainly because, see, this is a structural change. It is not that next quarter the tax will go up. Sure. That's a new normal. So you have to analyze in the new normal. Yes, people are emphasizing too much right now because there is, for the matter of comparability of the last time. But I think this is a structural thing. Many people are talking about how to utilize it. And especially if you look at, there are 2 things which has happened for the larger market. One is that the input cost for most of the people have come down, right? With the tax being positive, I think as a result you see the margins either being stable or on the positive side. Right? Revenue and all other things have changed for most of the people, but these are the 2 things which have mostly hanged around, right? And I think this is the most important thing which we look at, because the market is always forward-looking.
Sure.
Right? So if I look at 2 quarters from now, 3 quarters from now, I think that is what is giving strength to the market, and that is what we are seeing. Okay, it is, Nifty becoming expensive again.
Despite of bad news, the market is really not falling.
Yes, because I am looking at the bottom now, right?
Sure,
I'm saying, okay, if the margins are intact, more or less, I'm able to do, unless there is some structural change in the industry, which some of them have, and but most of them not, right? So I think you are able to visualize much longer thing, and market always move 2-3 quarters ahead, right? If you look at recently what has happened in autos is what? Numbers has not suddenly looking great, but people are saying, okay, maybe two quarters from now, the growth may come back. At least, it will not be this bad. And you've seen some
rebound coming in. In fact, my colleague Jayesh Khilani has also done some research on the Nifty EPS this quarter as the result season is winding up. Let's get a slice of that as well. Jayesh, over to you.
It was the same as all quarters that we have seen in the past. In fact, all 50 Nifty companies have now reported earnings. So let's get you a snapshot of how the EPS picture looks like. At the beginning of the quarter, analysts were anticipating about 121 rupees as EPS for the current quarter as well, which was revised mildly downwards to 119 by the end of the quarter. And the current estimate, which is as of yesterday, that was again revised down to 117. So, near 3 to 4% decline as far as the analyst expectations was concerned. That has been the trend in the past as well. Analysts keep revising their estimates downwards. But actually what we did in terms of the Nifty EPS for the quarter was just about 112. So once again, missing the mark. And this is largely due to the fact that, Bharti Airtel reported a huge loss number. So, that in fact contributed to that 112. As far as the scorecard is concerned, not many companies, or nearly just 1/3 of the Nifty company posted an above set of number, 16 as of now that it stands at, while the other 35 odd companies reported below to mix to inline number of companies that we had, each of which a little bit push to the above space would actually make the Nifty EPS look much better than the estimates. But for now, once again, failing to meet what analysts were anticipating for the Nifty EPS.
Right. Thanks very much for that, Jayesh. Last question to you then. If we see 4-5 quarters far out, do you see, I'm not talking about markets, but do you see the corporate India's performance improve 2 quarters, 3 quarters ahead?
It's not a straight answer, because you also have to look at it in conjunction with the India macro. So macro right now is not very, very strong. Is it bad? No, it is not bad. With some amount of push and pull from the government, I think it can start looking better, right? And in that conjunction, if I look at the present earnings growth, the present state, I think relatively India, the corporate India will do better. And one thing which we all need to overlay with all of this is that global central banks are printing a lot of money, right? And they are moving in the same trajectory as they moved post 2009. All of this money has to find place, right? So yes, we may say we are still growing at 5.5%, but that 5.5% still looks better because, our inflation is still under control, overall matrices is still okay. I think so that a lot of money will find place to Indian markets, and that may continue to surprise people, and saying that why the market is still holding on, because liquidity is a big factor.
Right. All right. On that optimistic note, Alok, I'll let you go. Thanks very much for dropping by.
Thank you.
That was Alok Singh of BOI AXA.